right, so once they send this out, we'll be good to go, and we can get started.
Okay.
All right. Hey, folks, welcome in here to the News 12 Now desk. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, June the 29th, about 11:40 here on our Thursday. Got a special guest with us this morning. We are joined by former Thomson Bulldog John Atkins, former Georgia Bulldog John Atkins, current Memphis Showboat John Atkins. Does a little bit of everything for us. So, John, we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we want to talk to you a little bit. You've just been named to the All-USFL Team this year, 2022, or 2023 rather, on the defensive line. So congratulations, first of all. And what was that like for you getting that honor?
It was big because with the year that I was having, like according to like PFF and my brother Toby Johnson, who was on the same team as well, it was big because I didn't. I mean, I know I had a good year, but I didn't think I had that good of a year, honestly. And when when it basically when it unraveled and my brother called me screaming. He called me screaming at 8 in the morning saying, "Oh, you made it, you made it!" And I was just like, oh. It was a great experience. Honestly, it felt great.
Yeah, and you've had a really interesting football journey. Starting at Thomson and then going through to the NFL as an undrafted free agent, getting picked up by New England, bouncing around a little bit to Detroit, Atlanta for a couple months. And I remember when we talked last, when you came here to the station, we did the story about the foundation. You had said that second contract is so hard to get in the NFL, and things don't always work out, and you get waived by Atlanta and kind of trying to find your footing, and the USFL gets rebooted. How big are leagues like the USFL and the XFL and the AAFL or whatever it was a couple of years ago? How big are those leagues for guys who still want to have professional careers but maybe don't have the NFL future in front of them?
It's big. Honestly, it's big. Like like you said, you have certain guys who've been there who done been on NFL rosters, and some guys who fresh out of college or just couldn't quite make it into the NFL. And with those teams, like well, not teams, but those leagues like the USFL, the SFL, it's big due to the fact of it. You get a lot of exposure. You doing something you love, and you get paid for it. So I love it. Like I love the USFL the way it really brought back football for me.
Yeah, and
For a lot of guys who, when you come out and football ends for you, it ends. So, but when the USFL, like if you good enough to play in the USFL, they send you out a contract and you sign that contract. It's one of the best experiences. Like Christian Tuck, another guy from Thompson that's down there playing.
yeah, and you get drafted to Tampa Bay in 2022 to the Bandits, and then they go on this hiatus last year, and then all of a sudden you're moving to Memphis. What was that transition like for you? Was it kind of a lot of uncertainty, or what was that like?
So yeah, like you said, it started out like when the league started out as Memphis. I mean, not Memphis, the Tampa Bay Bandits. So with the Tampa Bay Bandits, I guess they wanted to branch off into their own respectful places, and Memphis was a good city that they wanted to bring it to. So and there was also a team in Memphis like a while ago, and and they wanted they wanted to bring it back, and it kind of just changed from the name Tampa Bay to Memphis. So it
Yeah.
was the same coaches, same players in a way, and it was just basically the same team name.
Okay. And actually, one of your teammates, Vinny Papali, also an All-Pro, he and I actually grew up about 20 minutes apart from each other, grew up together playing lacrosse against each other in middle school. So that was just kind of when I saw that name, I was like, that can't be the same guy. Sure enough, it is. Son of Vince Papali there,
Yeah,
the former Philadelphia
Vinny,
Eagles.
that's my favorite person, man. That's my favorite person. That Vinny is a guy that does it all. He did it all for us. Like we need a first down, we're going to Vinny. Like Vinny he's gonna get it done. He's gonna also go down there and make a tackle on kickoff and
Recording
punt.
in progress.
Like, I love.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I
So
quickly
yeah,
interrupted.
I love Vinny first.
Yeah, and yeah, I never got to know him personally. I just knew, across the field from each other, and then getting to see Vince Papale on the sidelines was always a cool thing too. Um, you're like we
It
talked about
was.
earlier. Your career's been interesting because going undrafted in 2018, and then kind of bouncing around the league a little bit, and then with the USFL reforming. What kept you going through this whole experience for you, really throughout your whole football career? What's been your motivation? What's been your support system, mentors, anything like that?
I mean, honestly, my family and friends and my kids, but the love for the game, really, like the love for the game didn't die. So I always want to, if I can always, I want to play it until I can't play it again. But it won't. I mean, you can play that, but your body at a certain age, your body just shut down some days, and I just feel like, I mean, it was my family and my drive to just want to play football, just want to have that camaraderie and all that brotherhood, and that's to be on the team and do it like you was, like it ain't like college or NFL, but it's in the middle.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and hey,
just
you're
step
still
up for
getting.
college and like step below.
Yeah, I mean, you're still getting to play the game you love and make a living doing it. And I
For
wanted to
sure.
talk a little bit about. You mentioned your family. You and Princess, your wife, you guys are always a lot of support on social media, back and forth. What has she meant to you? Because remind me, I think you have a few kids, right? 3 or 4 kids. So
For
what role has she played in your success on all this?
the backbone. She really backbone. She in the shadows working. I mean, she's selfless. She let me go out for months at a time and play, and make money, and be away. I'm away from the kids. I'm away from her, and she's handling it all. And it's love. Like she my backbone. Like she's definitely there. Like I can't. I don't know what else to say besides, like, I call her the GOAT. She's the greatest of all time
Yeah,
because she put up
even
with a
though
lot. She
even though
juggles a lot.
you're a Thomson guy, and I think she was Cross Creek. Is that right?
Yeah, Cross Creek.
So y'all make that work still, even though
So yeah, she
a
from
little bit
Augusta.
of rivalry there. So
Yeah, it's a little bit, like, when Thomson played Cross
yeah,
Creek, but it's not too much.
yeah, it's more of a basketball thing these days. The boys basketball teams, they got a couple of
Right.
good squads down there. Speaking of Thomson,
Oh
they
yeah.
had quite a year themselves on the football field. Were you able to ever do you keep up with the team, or do you keep up with the coaching staff? Anybody over there?
Um, I I do. I don't keep up with them a lot like that, like I should. Like, but if I was to come down and uh, like just wanted to talk to him or something like that, I'm pretty sure Coach Youngblood will let it happen like that. But we don't really talk like that. I know. I love Coach Eddie Lee. That's one of my greatest coaches that's still there on staff, and Eddie Lee's my favorite coach. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really been to Thompson like that
Yeah,
in a while. Besides, like, going to see my mom or something like that, my family.
yeah. And but they still had a great year. They won a championship. Your Georgia Bulldogs have won back-to-back championships. How cool is it to see the programs that you've been a part of having all this success?
I mean, it's big. It's big. Especially, I mean, like you said, I was a part of the program, and now it's turning around and basically, like, becoming a powerhouse. And like I feel like, we laid the foundation for that now. So
Yeah. Do you let the guys know in the locker room that the Bulldogs are now the top dogs in the country?
so it's crazy because I don't have to let them know. We had a special team coach down there named Frank Gantz, and he always started all the meetings off, and with him starting all the meetings off or whatever, he always want, hey, Big John, Georgia Bulldogs, man, hey. Hey, the new elite, man, Georgia Bulldogs, and he every day he seen me, he always talked about the Georgia Bulldogs. But I mean, yeah, I had a guy, Derek Dillon, he went to LSU. You have, you got other couple guys down there from like SEC schools, and you done played against them or played with them on the same team or whatever. But yeah, it be fun though. They kind of know you from Georgia though, because when you introduce yourself, you say, "Oh, I went to Georgia." They be like, "Oh, okay." Like,
I'm sure, and I'm sure that that carries a lot of weight for you now that you got the back-to-back national championships with the Bulldogs. I wanted to talk a little bit about, if you had a message for kids, whether it be from Thomson or Augusta or Aiken, smaller towns that don't get a ton of recognition from these Division I programs, these Power 5 programs, what would your message be to a high school kid who wants to go out and be the next John Atkins?
go to camps. It start off at camps. Like you gotta be. Yeah, your coaches give you exposure as well, but you also have to put yourself out, because I really started getting offers when I went to the 247 camp, and the next week I was having offers from all SEC schools. Like you got to get yourself out there by going to like camps, and especially around this time right before your season starts up. You know, go to camps. Work on your craft, so when it's time for the season, you at least out there. Your face, they know you got to put a name with a face at that point. So later on down the line, they might say, "Oh, that's John Atkins." Like, oh yeah, but I want to offer this kid a scholarship. He came down here to the camp, and he was doing what he had to do. And it's not only for that, like, and also for the part of, if Georgia offers you, 9 times out of 10, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, everybody else gonna offer, because they see, okay, if Georgia sent him an offer, he must be pretty good, because they ain't finna send it just to anyone.
Yeah,
So
I
just
never really thought
I'd
about
rather
it.
say just go to camps and put your face out there. And just put your face out there.
Yeah. So for you, going back to your high school days, was there ever a question of where you were going to college? Were you always wanting to be a Georgia Bulldog, or was it kind of like a last minute decision? What was that process like for you?
Honestly, I was on. I wanted to always go to Georgia, but then again, I also wanted to go. I wanted to go to other schools. Like just, it might would have been a different. I probably would have had a different journey if I would have went anywhere besides Georgia. But I like the road that I took. So I kind of lean towards Georgia always. But
Yeah.
I mean, just sometimes I think about like, oh, what happened if I would have went here or went there? I don't know.
Yeah, and the path you took has gotten you to a pretty good place. Remind me, did you overlap? You overlap what, 1 or 2 years with Kirby, maybe a couple years?
2 years with Kirby.
2 years there. So what was Kirby like? And one of the tough things that we see with a lot of college guys is going through a coaching transition, because you never know what's going to happen. And we see a lot of guys hit the transfer portal these days when a new coach comes in. What was it like for you transitioning through head coaches, and then what was Kirby Smart like?
So when Coach Smart came in, it was more of he was a defensive minded coach. So he kind of gravitates more towards the defense, but he also knows his offense. Like, but it wasn't really a difference. It just was between Coach Rick and Coach Smart. It's honestly, they both great coaches, and one was an offensive minded coach, the other one was a defensive minded coach. But when Coach Smart came in, it was he put everybody stood like he made like everybody came when he first came in. He demanded everyone's attention. And he like it's no disrespect to the old Georgia, but it's a difference between being ordinary and extraordinary, and that always stood with me. So I'm like, he's like, yeah, like, y'all ordinary, but y'all not extraordinary. It's just a little bit extra. And once he said that, it sunk in, and over time he Coach Mark was just always just so feisty. Like he was feisty. It don't matter who you were. You can be Nick Chubb. You can be a walk on. You're gonna get it the same way. Everybody get cussed out the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about Nick Chubb. Who were some of you've played with so many great players. Who were some of your favorite guys to play with, just based on their skills on the field alone? Who were just some great guys, whether they were teammates or guys you played against in college or in the pros?
So I mean, honestly, all my teammates, I love playing with playing all my teammates from Georgia. And there's a couple guys you don't played against in college. The best guy ever, the best guy that was coming in through in college was Kerryon Johnson, and he was a big from Auburn. He was a man. Then I went to Detroit. He was at Detroit as well.
Yep,
So
right.
I was like, man, that's crazy. But so yeah, but all my you got the Leonard Floyds, the Lorenzo Carters, Nick Chubb, Davin Bellamy. He might not make it to the NFL, but he's a real good player. He in the XFL. Toby Johnson. Who else? Man, it's a lot of guys. But yeah, I don't play with the Isaiahs and the Nick Chubbs and the Sony Michels. And man, they different. Roquan Smith, they some different guys. Like it was fun being on that last year team, my senior year.
Yeah, you guys had a
And
heck of a squad.
that was a great team to be on.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I wanted to talk a little bit
Yeah, that was
about
one of the best.
I want to talk a little bit about your foundation, the John Atkins Foundation that you guys do, you and Princess. What are you guys up to with that, and why is it so important for you to want to give back to the community?
So I gotta apologize. I haven't really been into the foundation as in how I supposed to. So because it was a lot of swinging parts moving parts that was going on. I was either going to be, my season was during the spring. So now that I feel like, right before school times get back up, like donate toward book bags, and I didn't do it last year. I did the year before that, but I'm glad you said something about that because I definitely need to get back on it, honestly. And I thank you for mentioning that because school coming up again, and I want to be like me and my wife. We always just drive on, just getting supplies, just doing something, just get the kids something and take out the parents because we know we got 4 kids of our own and we know how pricey it gets. So
Yep.
with that, even though, but we still want to help out where we can help out at. And I think this year we're gonna start doing back to school like book bags and stuff again, like with some supplies in it. So I think I'm gonna start. Yeah, I not think I am gonna start it back up this year.
Yeah.
But
And I know
it
that's something you
focused.
enjoy.
But to answer your question though, yeah, it does. Just seeing their faces. We did a raffle and we went through and the last one we did was I have so many shoes. Me and my wife got so many shoes. I probably wear them one time and put them in the closet. But the way my shoes are, I wear 14, 15, so it's not that many people wearing that. So we had there's a kid from Thomson. I brought him down to the house, gave him 3 pair of shoes because he happened to be my size, and gave it to him. And I did that, and she gave away a couple pair of shoes, and we also pulled names for a shopping spree that we did last year. We did a shopping spree back to school, and then you get haircuts or you get your hair did.
Yeah.
So,
and like I
but
said,
yeah,
I know that's something
it's
you
fun
enjoy.
just giving back.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, and because I remember when we talked about it last week, last time we talked, that was how we actually got introduced. Was when you came here and we talked about. I think it was when you were on the Falcons for a little while, talking about trying to get tickets to games and whatnot. But another thing that you guys are doing is opening up a restaurant in Augusta. So tell us about the restaurant that's coming.
So, my wife, yeah, she opened up. We got it downtown called Twisted Vibes, but with Q, so it's Twisted Vibes in honor of her mom. And it got the red and black theme in there, with the Georgia and all that. But yeah, we opened it up downtown. It's a great restaurant. You come in, get good food, be around. It's a great environment. We aim to please. Honestly, we do. And we open up. We have our soft opening coming up tomorrow, and then we're gonna be open up from here on. And that's why I'm actually in the car now. I'm headed to get the supplies for that. I know she probably gonna get me if I don't hurry up, but I had to stop, man. I had to show you some love because you reached out to me, so I had to do this interview. But so it's gonna be downtown Broad Street, 855 Broad Street. We opening up tomorrow for a soft opening, and it's honestly, I'm in the background. She's doing all the work. She, like I told you, she's the go. Like she's doing all this. She's like every day she get up every day, come down here to Broad Street and grinds, and it ain't gonna come into fruition tomorrow when she opens it up. But yeah, I mean, I'm proud of it. Like I'm really proud of it. I mean, it's both of ours, but I say it's hers honestly because she did all the leg work for this.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there you go. I know.
So yeah,
I know
we got a new restaurant.
Yep, I know you're a busy man. I know you've got some supplies to pick up, so I won't hold you any longer. But John, we do really appreciate you coming on this morning and talking to us about football and kind of your life. And again, congratulations on the All-Pro selection. A huge honor, and we can't wait to see the great things you guys continue to do. And again, if you want to go get some food, soft openings tomorrow, Twisted Vibe with a Q down there at 855 Broad Street downtown. So, John, thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All righty. Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Record.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. John Atkins, a big thank you again to him for joining us this morning. Glad we were able to make that work. He's a very busy man right now trying to get that restaurant up and off the ground. So we appreciate him stopping by just for a little bit. So the midday newscast has started. I'm a little bit over my time, so hopefully that's not too bad. I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Again, don't forget to download the WRDW app, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And yeah, we'll have a little bit more from John coming up tonight. Dan's going to use some of that recording we've just done. And yeah, that's it for me this week. I'm actually off tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. So I'll be back on Wednesday with Wednesday's top headlines. See you then.